Manchester United return to action this Saturday, 5:30 kickoff away at Hull City. 3 wins on the bounce for Manchester United, including the Community Shield against Leicester City. And on the other hand, Hull City have won 2 games on the bounce. Surprisingly, to be honest, no one thought that they would be winning many matches this season. They were pretty much written off at the start of the season. And Manchester United obviously going into this full of confidence, and so to Hull City. It is another away match for Manchester United, which away matches are never easy in the Barclays Premier League. Wherever you go and play, you're always going to get a tough game. I wouldn't expect no different in this match. Now, I wouldn't expect Jose Mourinho to make wholesale changes in this match at the moment in time. I would expect him to keep pretty much a similar lineup to what he played in that previous couple of games. I would expect obviously the back four is going to keep it the same. Obviously, Valencia, Shaw as the fullbacks, and Blind and Bay as the centre-backs, and David De Gea in goal. Smalling's got to work his way into the team. Bay's been absolutely fantastic in these last 3 games that he's played so far. I can't believe how well he's taken to the Premier League. You know, he hardly played any games for Valencia at all in his professional career so far, and it is fantastic to see at only 22 years of age he has played in the African Cup of Nations as well for Ivory Coast, winning that tournament, but still he's relatively inexperienced, and it's fantastic to see how well he has performed. Smalling's going to have to really work hard to get his place back in that team, I think, and I'm really impressed with Blind as well. I really never thought that Blind would come on as well as he has for Manchester United. Really intelligent player, and I hope he can continue this going forward. But we have got some extra games coming up in September, Europa League and League Cup returns, so hopefully that will bode well for Manchester United's overall squad, because he does say that he wants to give some of the players, that fringe players that aren't getting a game, the likes of Rashford and Memphis Depay, some game time. Moving on, obviously in the midfield, it's got to stay the same for this game. I never thought I would say it. Marouane Fellaini has got to keep his place in the Manchester United team. Somehow Jose Mourinho seems to have turned this player around so far. I know it's only 2 games. The previous game against Leicester, he made a horrible mistake, and I was critical of him after that, but every player can make a mistake like that. That is just a one-off, can be a one-off mistake. But I didn't think the previous, well, certainly last season, he was pretty diabolical, Fellaini, and I thought he would be sold, but he played fantastically well in that game, well, in both last 2 games, and playing alongside Paul Pogba. Paul Pogba was fantastic for his first game back, and he has to be one of the first names on the team sheet for Manchester United. Where I would make a change is I would bring Jesse Lingard probably. Didn't think I'd be saying this either. At the start of last season, I thought he wasn't good enough and would probably be shipped out or would only be a squad player. But I would bring Jesse Lingard back into the team if he is fit to play for Manchester United again. He has been injured. If not, I would like to see Mkhitaryan come in. The pace in the team isn't up to scratch, and we need some more quick players in the Manchester United starting 11. And Juan Mata is slowing that down, along with Wayne Rooney. You know, if you play them and you play Michael Carrick and Zlatan Ibrahimovic, if you play an amount of them players, it's going to be too slow, especially on the counter attack. Now, on the other hand side, probably Martial will keep his place. Started to look more dangerous in that second half against Southampton. Hopefully that bodes well. You know, people are saying he's got a bit of unrest at the club. You know, his off-the-field problems may be taking their toll a bit, but I would expect him to start getting back to full flow again soon, hopefully. He's had a couple of chances in that game. A couple of them were blocked. It was a bit unlucky. Maybe he's trying too hard, I don't know, but hopefully he will start scoring goals again. He's already got 2 assists. That was a bit deceiving because the assists weren't the best of assists in that first game. But still, hopefully he can start scoring some goals as well to add to his attack. Wayne Rooney is going to be in that number 10 role. Did make the goal for Zlatan Ibrahimovic and scored one in the previous game, so if that sort of thing continues, even if he plays shit, at least if he's scoring goals and making assists, I would be happy with that. And obviously Zlatan's going to be up top. Hopefully we're going to see Rashford come off the bench in some games, but we will see him in the Europa League and League Cup games over the next month, I'm sure. Now, Hull City, I've said, have really surprised everyone in these first 2 games. That they beat Swansea in their last game away 2-0. Fantastic win for them, because that's going to be that is a really massive 3 points for them, because probably Swansea are going to be fighting down the bottom somewhere. They had an awful run last season where I thought they were going to actually get relegated. They got rid of the manager, and they seemed to just survive by, well, relatively easily in the end, but it was a struggle for a while. And I would expect this to be a difficult game against Hull City, harder than we would have thought previously, but that any away win is fantastic for them, and they beat the champions at home as well. Although Jamie Vardy did have a number of chances in that first half to probably put them at least 2-0 up in that game away at Hull. So I'm hoping that Manchester United, if they can create the chances, get them chances, if Zlatan Ibrahimovic can get the chances that Jamie Vardy got in that game, then I would expect Manchester United to win. They have got a few players in that we've seen in the past. Huddleston in there. Sean Maloney scored in that game against Swansea the other day. I think he came off the bench. Hernandez scored as well. So, I mean, they're on paper, Manchester United should be winning this comfortably 2, maybe 3-0, but obviously it's not played on paper. They're going to be really up for it at home against a quality Manchester United side. So I would expect it to probably be a cagey game at first, but I would expect Manchester United to break them down. I'm going to go for a 2-0 victory in this. I think Manchester United will get the job done. If we don't get the job done, question marks are going to be asked in this game. And then that will hopefully bode us well for going into that Manchester City derby game, because probably Manchester City will beat West Ham as well, because they've got a lot of injury problems and they look a bit toothless up front. So if they win their game as well, we're both going to be on 9 points, and we're playing Manchester City the following weekend at home. So that is going to be a massive, massive game. A game which Manchester United are probably going to have to be looking to get 3 points at home in to steer us away from Manchester City and put us in pole position. Hopefully then we could maybe go on a run, never look back. Who knows, but I'm not getting too carried away with this. We've had a decent start to the season, but we will have to wait and see where things plan out as the season goes on. But I think with the likes of Paul Pogba in midfield, it's really going to improve Manchester United this season. Obviously he was fantastic in that game, in that previous game against Southampton, and hopefully he can continue that. He's going to hopefully chip in with 7-8 league goals this season, which we haven't had since Paul Scholes retired. We just haven't had that player in midfield that can score goals, create goals as well as that. You know, we've had Michael Carrick, who's been a fantastic servant to Manchester United, but his goal threat hasn't been as good as some of the other midfielders we've had in the past, like Paul Scholes, and that's what you really miss. You know, when the great Chelsea teams in the sort of 2005, 2006 era, they had Frank Lampard scoring a lot of goals from midfield, and I think that is absolutely vital to get someone doing that in midfield. And obviously with Zlatan up front banging in the goals, hopefully he can continue that good reign of form at the moment. I don't think it's going to last for the whole season, but if he can get 15 to 18 Premier League goals, I would be absolutely delighted with that, considering he was free. If he could chip in with that, Paul Pogba chip in with sort of 7-8 league goals, and maybe Rooney chip in with 10-15 league goals, then you've got Mkhitaryan to chip in with maybe 6-7 goals, and Martial maybe chipping in with 10-12 goals. We could be in a real strong position come the end of the season. We'll have a lot more goals in our team than we did last season, and hopefully we will be there at the end to hopefully claim the title. Anyway, let me know your thoughts on the situation ahead of this game. Where do you see this game being won and lost? I don't think that Hull are going to pose too much threats to Manchester United, to be honest. I think Manchester United will win the game fairly comfortably. Like the video, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and I'll talk to you all again soon. See ya.